Hi guys, are you all excited for the Indian T20 League 2021? Well, I am, and I have come across the great fantasy sports app called My 11 Circle, where you can use your cricket knowledge and skills to win in crores. The really unique feature about it is that what you can actually literally play with champions like Dada, Rahane, VVS Laxman on this app. Also, don't please hold your breath, because not only My 11 Circle have all these legendary cricketers on their app, they recently got the kings of energy and awesomeness on board. Ranveer Singh. Yeah, you heard it, that right. Ranveer Singh is on My 11 Circle. Download the app now.
Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochnak here for Extra Time. Oh, I've just won my 11 Circle. No, I haven't. I'm here in Sydney, Australia, and I'm joined by three esteemed guests from a number of places, including, obviously, majorly in India. We'll go through where we are in a moment. But I'd like to welcome Siddharth. How are you, Vishy?
Good. Gearing up for the game. Despite the darkness outside, there is still light in the form of an enthralling contest between Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad, hopefully.
Yes, I mean, but we know that your background is actually Switzerland, with your snow-decked background there. But all right.
Why am I sweating then? Sunburn, I guess.
We're very lucky to have one of your former colleagues, Devashit Varma, here. Now, you are former Hindustan Times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which is a very esteemed newspaper circulation. Even I read the Hindustan Times. And of course, we have none less than Gil, who's joining us again from the Bharat Army, who has been he's basically a regular now from the Bharat Army, and looked resplendent in a red combination there. Very impressive. Now, Mumbai Indians are not red, and nor are Sunrisers Hyderabad. So are you neutral? Are you saying you're neutral today?
Yeah, I am supporting. I am supporting Ravi Shastri's line. Cricket being the real winner today.
That's a very typical saying. So Mumbai Indians versus Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Certainly two teams that are going to figure probably in the top four, if not top five. Mumbai Indians are arguably in the top three with Delhi Capitals, despite Delhi Capitals' match, and of course RCB. Sunrise Hyderabad, it's hard to work out what's going on. I'm thinking Williamson today.
Yep.
What are you guys thinking? Are you seeing Williamson in your sights?
Williamson is not fit. He's not entirely fit as of now, so I don't think he's going to play today as well. What he had told in the last press meet, which he had with the media, was that he expects to be fully fit within a week's time. He's optimistic about getting fit for tonight, so there might be a surprise in store for us. But from what the general reports are suggesting, that Williamson is not going to play tonight, at least.
Okay. I'm hearing that he's going to play. I know that was said, but I've got a feeling they may need him to play, and if they can rush him back a week, they may do so. And okay, Gil, your thoughts from a Bharat Army perspective. Are you seeing Sunrisers Hyderabad toppling Mumbai or not?
They certainly have the resources to do it. If you look at the Mumbai batting lineup, they are a little susceptible against quick respin and respin. And Rashid's record against Mumbai is pretty good as well. If you look at the last game that they played in Sharjah, and the lowest score that has been defended in Wankhede. I know the game's not in Wankhede, but I'm just trying to give a perspective that even on one of the flattest pitches in the IPL, Sunrisers Hyderabad have managed to defend 118 against Mumbai Indians. So they definitely have the tools for it. Depends how they use it and who bowls at what time. I think Shahbaz Nadeem becomes a very important bowler today, and the most important batsman, without a doubt, for Mumbai Indians today is Surya Yadav. He was brilliant in the last game, scored that 50 on a pitch where run scoring was very difficult, and against RCB also he scored some 30 odd in some 20 odd deliveries, and he's probably their best batsman against spin. And if Rashid or Shahbaz can, or anyone in that Sunrisers Hyderabad lineup can get Surya Kumar early, then it would put a lot of pressure on that Mumbai middle order, because Hardik and Pollard also don't have great record against Rashid. So yeah, it's something that works in SRH's favor, but others will also have to step up somewhere because they don't have a death bowler who's express enough to pull Hardik and Pollard back on the back foot because they struggle with short of length deliveries. And even though Bhuvneshwar Kumar is good with his lengths and can be quite wily, the bowlers at the other end, say Natarajan, he really doesn't have the pace or the short ball. So it's going to be interesting. A lot is going to rely on the spinners.
I agree. And look, I'm concerned about the fragilities of both the batting sides, to be really honest with you, currently. In fact, look at the actual free fall of innings scores that's been occurring. Since the match, we've had both teams over double hundreds. We've gone slowly but steadily down. I mean, the last match had a pathetic set of totals. Now, Chennai, you would argue, would be the most difficult pitch to play out of all the pitches they're going to contest. I'm fearful we're going to have an extremely low score. I've got a feeling the bowls will dominate and the batters will have a lot of problems, and we may have very low scores to contest with and a very early finish.
But Norman, if you have to look at it, if we have to have a high-scoring thriller, if you want, in Chepauk in particular, the team that bats well in the power play, right from over number 1 to over number 10, they will set the tone of the match. As I told you in the previous games that have been played in Chepauk, teams batting first, teams batting second. In the death overs, they will struggle. But we will now be seeing tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first doubleheader. It's a day game in Chepauk. How the dynamics change there will also be important. If I have to look at it, the contest today, I would rather like to say chalk and cheese for a couple of reasons. Mumbai have depth from number 1 to number 11. All are proven match winners. In the case of Sunrisers, because for some very odd reason, but I guess it's the middle order frailty, you've separated Bairstow and Warner, your two ace in the packs. Yeah. They gave you wins. But because the middle order is so fragile, you've had to keep Bairstow at number 4. And you're opening with Riddhiman Saha. So that opening combination, you're decimating it. That is not working for Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Correct. I cannot believe that Riddhiman Saha, if he opens again, I'll be completely gobsmacked. Not unlike Tom Curran's selection in the previous matches. Riddhiman Saha, seriously, I'm sorry. I think they've got to be bold with their decision making. If Williamson's 90% or 85% fit, he has to be in, and therefore that means Riddhiman Saha out, Bairstow keeps and he opens. That's my thoughts.
Or they can also do another. Or they can also do another thing is that they can, if Williamson is not fit, they can still push Bairstow along with Warner in the opening slot, and they can get in Kedar Yadav because he can be a real match winner, and he can bowl those slingish, slow deliveries as well. So he can contain. He can also get some wickets, and he can also score runs. And he can, the presence of somebody who is as experienced as Kedar Yadav with Chennai Super Kings and with the Indian cricket team, he can provide that solidity in the lower order, which Sunrisers in particularly have been lacking big time. Like Absolutely. It was one frailty which was there in IPL 2020 as well, and they have carried the same shortcoming, you can say, in this year's season as well.
Well, before we get to Gil, there's one thing for sure. Riddhiman Saha should not be opening today. If he does, I'm going to throw something at the wall. I think that'll be a big mistake. 1 run off 9 deliveries. Nobody opens their batting and gets 1 off 9 deliveries and then gets out. That's horrific, I think.
But last night you had Rituraj Gaikwad. He scored 5 runs from 16 balls.
Equally as bad. He shouldn't. But he doesn't normally do that, does he? So
yeah, he normally doesn't do that.
No. Gil, you had your finger up there. Were you giving me out, or were you wanting to ask a question?
No, I wanted to say something. See, if you look at the Mumbai Indians bowling lineup and especially the spinners that they have Krunal Pandya and Rahul Chahar. Both of them take the ball away from the right-hander and bring it into the left-hander. For 2 games consecutively, Sunrisers haven't played Abhishek Sharma. Abhishek Sharma is a good potential batsman who opens for Punjab in the Ranji Trophy, and even he did a good job in the recently concluded Syed Mushtaq Ali as well. So that is one option they can look to open with. That also gives them another bowling option. And if Bairstow keeps wickets, you can have Warner and Abhishek Sharma open, and then have the rest of the middle order same as before. You can have Manish at 3. Probably Kedar Yadav can still come in, and I think if he does come in, he should come in place of Vijay Shankar, because I don't see how you can play both Vijay Shankar and
Abhishek
and
Sharma.
Kedar Jadhav. And what that also does is that makes your 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all your batsmen from 4 to 9 as right-handed batsmen. It's giving the Mumbai Indians spinners a platter to bowl at. All of them can take the ball away and get away with some freebies. So I think purely from that perspective, someone like an Abhishek Sharma desperately needs to come into the side.
If I have to get in Gill and Devarchit's options, when I look at Kedar Jadhav, Manish Pandey, and Vijay Shankar, you have your potential 4, 5, and 6, if I may just add in that team mixture. But Vijay Shankar, Manish Pandey, and Kedar Jadhav have all got one basic problem, and that has been the strike rate. Ignore KL.
Oh, so that has, we've got, isn't that a great pose? I'm going to take a photograph of that. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, guys? Siddharth looks like he's Adolf Hitler, actually. I'm not sure what's going on with his hand there. He's doing a Zig Heil there. It's quite an impressive. That's going to go on my social media, that one. No, but Siddharth will come back in a minute. He's probably talking his head off at the moment. We lost him. But bringing up a good point, though. But this is effectively game 9, is it not? Which is effectively the first of the third round.
Sorry, boys. Power cut in my area. Sorry.
Siddharth, I've got a photo of you looking like Adolf Hitler doing the Zig Heil. You froze on that pose.
Oh, no.
It's going to be replayed. All right, Siddharth, do you want to pick up where you left off? Or do you want to pick up where you left off?
I would like to say that the basic problem of strike rates, ignore KL Rahul's advice that yes, strike rates are overrated. But Manish Pandey, Kedar Jadhav, and Vijay Shankar have a basic problem of strike rates. If you pick all the three, you've got a test middle order. You don't have a T20 middle order. So I guess either you play Holder, then you've got your batting sorted out. Play Abhishek Verma, you've got the left-handed option as well. So either you play Riddhiman Saha in the middle order, open with Bairstow and Warner, keep Holder, because if Williamson's not fit, unfortunately he's not fit yet. You got
absolutely. There's a lot of words saying that he's going to play today. I'm hearing a whisper that he's playing today.
I hope, because a Kane Williamson is the right tonic to sort out all your batting issues. Because let's remember one thing. David Warner and Johnny Bairstow are your only batting in the Sunrisers Hyderabad lineup. I'm sorry. That they are it. After that, there's no batting. If Kane Williamson comes in, at least you've got Rashid Khan, Williamson, Bairstow, Warner. What a combination. They alone can win you matches.
There's also Abdul Samad, who's been quite promising and done well. But the problem is, even if you look at Sunrisers' first game versus KKR, they needed some 60 odd runs in the last 4 overs, and they promoted Vijay Shankar ahead of him. And I'm not sure if they particularly lost that game because of that, but they perhaps didn't give themselves the best chance, because we saw what Abdul Samad did when he faced that Pat Cummins over. He hit him for 2 sixes. So there's a lot that is not falling in place for Sunrisers. Let's be very honest about it. And it's not the story of this season. This season also, I know they are the third team who have qualified for playoffs for 5 consecutive seasons from 2016 to 2020. But you have to look how they have qualified. Last season they qualified on net run rate. 2019 season they qualified with 6 wins, which was the lowest for any team to qualify, and that was also on the back of net run rate. So, this could probably the season where they've pushed their luck to an extreme, and it's probably not going to work out. And I know Kane Williamson is needed in this 11, but if you see any IPL team, any team that has done well, I don't think any team has 3 overseas batsmen in the top 4. It is also not a sustainable lineup to play throughout the whole IPL, and that is what happened last season also, because eventually they had to drop Johnny Bairstow and play Jason Holder, because then they lack someone at 6 or 7 and another bowling option. The way I see it, I would probably play the same 4 foreigners that played against KKR. I would bring Mohammad Nabi back in because of the left-handed batting options in the Mumbai Indians lineup. There is Quinton de Kock who's going to open, so Mohammad Nabi can bowl a couple of overs in the power play. There's Ishan Kishan also, who's left-handed. There's Krunal Pandya. So there are options for Mohammad Nabi to exploit and tie down the team as well, the opposition team rather.
Look, just quickly on Sunrisers Hyderabad, in my opinion, they're shooting themselves in the foot at the moment. I think they have the capability, if they get their order right, to maximise their chances, but they're not able to stabilise their batting order.
But
Devashik, what were you going to say?
what I also think is that since they are working with very limited options as far as the top order is concerned, or constituting a good batting order is concerned, what Sunrisers Hyderabad desperately need right now, until and unless Kane Williamson is not 100% fit and ready to go, and in form as well for that matter, they need either of Bairstow and Warner to bat through or bat as long as possible into the death overs as well. Because if one of them happens to go big, then they have good scores on the board if they are batting first, and they can chase as well. Like something like Sanju Samson did against Punjab Kings the other night. The second highest score in that match was 25 from both best Josh Butler and one more batter.
Shivam Dubey,
correct. So they had 25 as the second highest score, and then one batsman who came out at the top of the order, scoring big. So if that can happen with Sunrisers on a consistent basis, and I think given the form which Johnny Bairstow was in against India in particular, he can go big as well. Warner, again, he has looked very good. He's one short of 50 half centuries in IPL, which is going to be a record in itself. So that can be one good way for them to sustain. But then again, it's a very risky scenario for them to find themselves in. And there is also a problem with Vijay Shankar. Vijay Shankar had a good couple of seasons with them, but all of a sudden he has lacked the runs. I mean, the big runs that he can contribute, the quick runs which he can put in towards the other innings that are not coming anymore. He's just averaging a little above 20 in the last 2 seasons at least. So that I think is also hurting them. They don't have any big power hitter. I mean, if you have to look at SRH batting order, and if you have to see who apart from Warner and Bairstow can hit, I'll say probably Rashid Khan. Look at the way he batted in the previous game. He almost got them the victory. Had he not been run out, he would have probably won the game for them. Then probably Abdul Samad. He is a very good clean hitter of the ball. Those 2 sixes against Pat Cummins was as clean as you can get from any proper batsman. And he's a very
not as an opener. Not as an opener, though.
Not as an opener, but yeah. So they will have to work around with the options that they have as of now, until unless Kane Williamson is fit and in form.
As far as I'm concerned, Kane Williamson or no Kane Williamson, Bairstow and Warner should open. Full stop.
Correct.
To me, like the case would have been with Butler and Stokes, although Stokes is no longer in that situation. I think they're going to, and look at Virat Kohli and his intention to open as well. To me, 20 overs is 20 overs. If you're a good enough batting side, you should take hold like Pakistan did against South Africa recently, and be 1 or 2 down when you pass the score. To me, it's essential that the first 2-3 batsmen, one of those 2-3 batsmen go big and be there for the whole innings. And you can't do that as second and third drop. You can't do that because if you've lost 2 or 3 wickets quickly, you're on the back foot. And by being on the front foot, there's a risk involved. But if you've got the guts to do it, you start well from the very, very top. And I think that's what there's not even a question. Bairstow and Warner would have been my first picks. I wouldn't have dreamed about Saha. No matter how well he was batting, he needs to bat another place in the order or not be in the team at all. That's my opinion. Now, Siddharth, we've basically gone on a house tour with you. We've been to your snowfields, we've been to your front room, your back room, your porch, your balcony. Where are you now? Have you gone next door, or where are you?
I'm still in Switzerland, but unfortunately, the power cut has just ruined everything. So sorry for that, folks. Very, very sorry.
It's never boring. It's better to have a bit of excitement. When everybody's in a perfect studio, you know what? That's boring. I want a bit of drama. I want Siddharth to fall off his chair. Gil, you're going to fall off your chair one day too. I know that. You're going to have that itchy back and you're going to bend over and you're going to fall over. I like that. That shows drama. We need a bit of drama. Okay?
I did a Kolkata Knight Riders, 31 of 30, and the power went off and I've lost the connection.
You lost the plot, you mean? You lost the plot, you're talking about.
I lost the plot.
Exactly.
But in this case, I lost the connection.
Okay. Now, Devashik, you haven't seen my crystal ball. I use it for chocolate milkshakes, but it also has a role in terms of seeing what's about to happen. And I'm seeing that Sunrisers Hyderabad will be desperate today. They'll be overly hungry. They're going to put Williamson in the middle with a wheelchair if they have to. He's going to play. That's my impression, okay? Even if he's in a wheelchair. In fact, can a fieldsman come on at first slip in a wheelchair? Is that possible? I mean, is that possible? Be fun, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be fun to see someone with a wheelchair with their foot up in plaster, still catching the ball? It'll be, or if you can have Cornwall playing for West Indies, he doesn't move exactly fast, but I tell you what, he doesn't drop first slip catches, does he? They come into his stomach and they get lost. They get lost in his stomach.
No, but he's an excellent
Yes,
fielder,
yes.
apparently.
If you watch that Bangladesh West Indies Test series,
Yeah.
he pulled off some excellent takes at first slip, and
He's probably the
one
best.
thing.
Have you seen the
He-
size of his hands? His hands are like two sides of a building.
Yeah,
Was
but I think his hand-eye coordination is as good as any for a slip fielder. It's pretty brilliant. If we are to just talk of his technique, that also him doing well as a slip fielder puts a lot of perspective into how fielding is a lot more different from catching, because if you see the current Indian lot, they drop a lot of slip catches, but they're excellent ground fielders. And if you compare it with the age of Sachin, Ganguly, Rahul, Lakshman, Sehwag, these guys never used to drop anything, but they weren't exactly the best of ground fielders. So it
Exactly.
puts a lot of perspective into how catching may not be very directly related to ground fielding, or
But
being
that at least cannot be said for the Indian captain in particular, who has dropped most catches, I think, from 2019, right?
yeah. I
Like
have
Kohli
no
has
clue
dropped a lot
how
of catches, and he
how
doesn't.
he's
He normally does not stand in the slips, at least
he
in
Breaking,
test
used
matches.
to,
breaking,
now
hang
he
on,
doesn't.
hang on. Stop the press. Breaking news. Adam Milne has been given his cap today. He's starting for Mumbai Indians. Adam Milne is in.
So Marco
Which
Jansen
made-
is out.
I'd say
Marco
yes.
Jansen is out then.
I think it's an
Interesting
excellent
move.
move. It's an
Yes, I
excellent
agree.
move.
This damn cap ceremony, it gives away everything, doesn't it? Every time they give a cap, we know exactly what's going on. And then we start having all this conjecture about Milne in, Jansen out.
Who
maybe
knows?
Norman
Who
in,
knows? Who knows? It could be Bolt sitting out. We might be in for a surprise. I remember we were thinking that when Lalit Yadav was given his cap, it would be Ajinkya Rahane who sits out, and then we were in for a shocker. So who knows?
I mean, really,
Yeah.
Rahane, I would not select
Maybe.
Rahane, and I would not be selecting
Tom
Ruben
Curran.
Saha.
Tom
No,
Curran.
really. Oh, Tom Curran. Oh my God. I had David Graveney on my show. By the way, David, I've got a show that follows in the evening called Eyes on Cricket with Norman Cotchley. Not that I need to plug it, but I have got my hat here, by the way. But anyway, the fact is, on my show, I have David Graveney. Now, David Graveney, you may or may not know, was the chairman of selectors for the ECB up until late last year. His uncle played for England, Tom Graveney, very esteemed fellow. In fact, would you believe, he actually sat next to Elton John at Princess Diana's funeral, and it's well documented. He was very close to Princess Diana. Anyway, David Graveney nurtured the Curran family, all the boys, from a very young age. So basically, he's like their grandfather. So he's very close to them all. And he was telling me that he knows that Sam and Tom will be ringing him and asking questions because they're very close to him. The fact is that they're really trying to prop Tom Curran up because he's emotionally quite drained. He hasn't played well for some time. They keep selecting him, though, which is amazing. Anyway, to the side. All right, back to this game.
Yeah.
Back to this game. Okay, Mumbai Indians. There's a lot of discussion about them being the best team in the world. That's a hell of a tag to put on them. They deserve that title from their IPL success. I don't deny that. But that puts enormous strain on any team, and the mental pressure of winning a third championship is insurmountable, in my opinion. What's your opinion?
I don't think teams like Mumbai Indians, or for that any top side in the world right now, even if you look at the Indian cricket team for that matter, the word pressure just does not exist for some set of people. They just keep on doing what they want to do. They just keep getting better at it. Like we saw the Australian cricket team when we were all, at least the guys of my age, said at least in particular, we were growing up. There was nothing called, no word called pressure associated with these guys. They did what they wanted to do. They could achieve whatever they wanted to do. They played for each other. They played for the way they wanted to, and they enjoyed their game the most. That is what is most important. If you look, what did surprise me in the last game which Mumbai played against KKR was not just the win, but the entire body language of the guys who were there on the field. They were all working together in tandem as a well-oiled machinery, working towards a common goal of achieving success out of nowhere. When teams are able to do that, then it is one of the strongest signs that they are in the right shape and the right place wherever they can from where they can go anywhere they want to.
I think what the analogy that Devarchit has brought up over here of comparing Mumbai Indians to the Australian side of the 2000s, I think it's an excellent analogy because it's not that teams teams really teams perform poorly just because it's not their day. It's also a lot to do with them seeing, okay, Mumbai Indians is there, Bumrah has to bowl 2 overs. They just react differently. I'm pretty sure that had Kolkata Knight Riders been playing any other side in that situation where they had to chase 72 runs in the last 10 overs with 9 overs, they would have won it even in the worst kind of condition with 2 overs to spare. They would have scored that in 8 overs. But the fact that it was Mumbai Indians, a team against who they have a head-to-head of 21-6, and the fact that Bumrah had to bowl 2 overs, just panic just struck them. It just reminds you so much of how teams used to crumble looking at the Australian side. They would lose the game in the mind, forget on the field.
Yeah,
they would just lose it on the mind. The one example that comes to my mind is the 96 World Cup semi-final between West Indies and Australia. West Indies were cruising in that game, and just out of nowhere they managed to lose it. Similarly, South Africa in that 99 World Cup semi-final.
But hang on a minute. Australia lost the 96 World Cup to Sri Lanka, though, in the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I'm talking semi-final. I'm talking about the semi-final, not the final.
Gil, closer to home. The perfect analogy would be 175 Sachin Tendulkar 2009 Hyderabad.
Yeah,
it was like reliving the 90s all over again. The bottom, the middle, or the top, the lower order just collapsed. You just needed to give the Australian team of that era a slight foothold, just a slight foothold.
You just have to give them slightest of hope, and they will just barge their way.
And the Mumbai Indians team is currently like that.
Basically,
guys, I want to bring up something.
Yeah.
Gil, this is just semantics from me. But when you say you're pretty sure about something, be careful, because you may have to say you're pretty sure that pretty sure will be good or bad. There's where the confusion starts, because pretty sure could be the man, or it could be that you're almost certain. So just like that was meant to be.
Okay. I'll keep in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, regarding Mumbai Indians, I just wanted to make one point. Like, they're there in a competition. Obviously, there are good teams as well. Mumbai Indians obviously are the best team one can have. If you look at the overall squad, that's the best squad you can probably make on paper. But you have to have proper strengthening and conditioning for taking the best out of the players, which translates into a whole team performance. And that is what they've been able to do, not just once, but 5 times. And for the last 2-3 years, I mean, if you look since 2018, they've been finalists for the last 3 times. They've won twice and they've lost once. So it's something which has been inculcated into their the gene of the very team, the core of the team, that they function in a unison. They perform in a unison.
It can be like the mongrel instinct. Remember, we used to associate with the past, the will and the ability to never ever give up. I mean, the Australian team as well. The 2010 Pakistan semi-final, World T20. Hussey played a godlike innings.
What an innings was that?
Yeah, they never give up. Mumbai Indians,
they never gave up.
Every IPL, Rajasthan Royals in 2014, 194, 14.1 overs.
And just imagine, I mean, the scariest part of any team in this IPL for me is the Mumbai Indians after their batting cream is over. Once you're through Rohit Sharma, once you're through Quinton de Kock, and once you're through Ishan Sharma, Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav, you run into the likes of Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, and Kieron Pollard. You're just not, I mean, there's just no room for bowlers to bowl. Like, you cannot just breathe easy for full 20 overs when you're playing against Mumbai Indians, because from anywhere they can smack runs, anywhere they can take wickets.
We have a question from Saket Ram. Will Kedar Yadav replace Vijay Shankar? No. Okay.
Might. Good possibility.
Anything's possible, but I would doubt it myself. I want to talk about the matchups now. We have some mouth-watering matchups. Obviously, we've got the likes of Robert Sharma and Warner in terms of the batting, but in terms of bowling and batting, Bumrah versus Sharma versus Warner. That's going to be interesting. The combinations of the likes of both, obviously Pollard with Holder, and then you've got even up the order. Well, even Rashid Khan in his bowling efforts towards his opposition batters. He is such a dominant bowler. a lot of teams are doing the wrong thing. They're actually taking an attitude of seeing him out and therefore playing into his hands. I think Maxwell had the right idea. Maxwell from ball one tried to get rid of him out of the attack, and it was relatively successful. I think that you need to take Rashid Khan on. That's my opinion. I think you need to take him on. And you have players such as Surya, Kumar, of course, we looked at him. He may be the guy to take Rashid on. That could be a very good combination as well. So interesting, mouth-watering matchups. But Holder, will Holder play? Do you think Jason Holder will play, guys?
If Williamson plays, then Holder doesn't play. If Williamson does not play, then Holder will play. He has to play.
I see two changes. I see two changes. If Holder's playing, then I see then I see Abhishek Sharma might play. But if Williamson is not fit and then I might see a Kedar Jadhav might play. However, if Williamson is not fit and Mohammad Nabi plays, then I'm sure that Abhishek Sharma will play, because they need to have one off-spin bowling option for the likes of Quinton de Kock, Ishan Kishan, and Krunal.
Mumbai Indians have won the toss and have elected to bat, which goes against the grain of the previous so many selections where the team winning the toss has elected to bowl. So this is an interesting move. I think it's the right move, in my opinion, but I'm glad that they've been rather bold, because everybody else has elected to bowl first, haven't they? So Mumbai Indians winning the toss and electing to bowl sets the tone immediately, doesn't it? And if they get hold of that, as you said earlier, Siddharth, if they get the runs in the power play and get runs early, it's going to make it increasingly hard for Sunrisers Hyderabad to win. In particular, if they bat with Saha as an opener. They are doomed if they have him as an opener. I'm sorry. Especially now that they're having to bat second, they can't make the choice. The team's already been selected. We should see the teams very shortly. It should be only a matter of seconds down before we hear that. Rowan says it's very hard to predict. Looks like a good track. We only get to know once the game begins. Looks like it's sluggish. He's actually mentioned Adam Milne is coming in for Marco, as we thought. And it looks like that's the only... They've made one change. Only one change. Adam Milne in for Marco. That's Mumbai Indians. We've yet to hear Sunrisers Hyderabad. So that's where it gets a bit different. I think it just shows the strength of Mumbai Indians, making very little changes. And probably a clever change of Milne coming in. I can't see Mumbai Indians losing this match, I'm afraid. Sunrisers Hyderabad are going to be smacked. Warner's just spoken, and he said, not sure what he would have done better first. So he's confused himself even before. Luckily, he didn't have to win the toss. All 4 weeks have looked exactly the same, so I'm not really sure. We know what we've got to do. We've made 4 changes. Okay. You'll see soon on the team sheet. Isn't that an awful way for a captain to be talking? We've made 4 changes. Look at the team sheet. That's not the way you should be talking. Okay. I'm going to read out, like in Mumbai Indians, I can read out. Sharma and Quinton de Kock. Surya Kumar Yadav. Ishan Kishan at 4. Pandya, Pollard, Krunal Pandya, Chahar, Milne, Bolt, Bumrah. What a strong side. Wow. That is a lethal side. If they don't smoke this team, no one will. That is an enormous side. It is an outrageous side. And I Warner's almost defeated with what as a captain, you don't come out with comments like, oh, we've made 4 changes, go onto the team sheet. That's stupid. I would, if I was in charge of Sunrisers Hyderabad, I'd have a go at him for saying that. That's the worst thing you could say. That's like defeatist.
For ball-by-ball commentators and who want to send mobile alerts, it's a nightmare. Oh, God, now what do we do? How do we wait? How do we get that information? Trust me, I've been there. And these kind of comments really, really put you off. And before the match, you are under tension. What to do? What are you going to do?
It reflects a lot about the captain's mindset. Because if you have clarity in the changes that you've made, then you are bound to remember them. But if you don't have clarity, or if you have some doubts on the changes you've made, then you're obviously in second thoughts. You're not clear. You're confused, and that is when you're bound to not forget those changes that you've made. So it speaks a lot about the mindset that the Sunrisers setup is. the team camp is, and I don't think it can any team can benefit from that kind of a mindset unless the other team commits harakiri or someone plays a blinder. Because as a captain, you should, if you're very convinced about the changes that you have made, then you're bound to remember them. It's something you're always bound to remember things you're convinced about or you have conviction about. You only forget it if you lack conviction in those ideas itself in the first place.
Well, in my
He might have
opinion,
been just joking around.
Warner's got out of the wrong side of bed as far as I'm concerned. He must be a cranky person. Look, I know Dave Warner. I live in Coogee. He lives down the road from me. I bring those Sri Lankan cricketers here with me. We went to the local gym. He was there one day. He knows me very well, but he was as cranky as hell. He can be a cranky puss when he wants to be. I'll let you know. And if that sort of commentary's come out with today, I'll bet he's not in a good mood, which could also be dangerous because he could go out and go mad when he bats.
Correct.
That could also work in his favour.
Norman, since you know him and both of you go to the same gym, are we going to someday see both of you on some?
Hang on, let me get no. I don't do anything in the gym. I'm usually eating a chocolate piece of cake or a biscuit when I walk in. That's about the sum total of my gym work. But I do bring the girls there. Okay, get that clear.
No, I was asking about you doing those dance videos that Warner does on his Instagram.
I'm not doing them with him, beg your pardon. If I did them, I'd show him up because I'm actually a belly dancer. Heavy emphasis on the word belly.
No, but Norman would be an even bigger star than Warner. That's
that video might get more views than this preview that we are doing.
Absolutely.
Maybe more views than the combined views that this show might get.
I'll tell you what. I have got a video of me being rather effeminate, and it's not a good look. Trust me. I mucked around one day, and I pretended I was Shripali Wirakoti. Not a good idea. I'm afraid I had no hope of doing it. Do you want to see that video? I will post it one day.
Oh,
in a certain dark chapter room somewhere on the web.
At your own risk.
All right. If Sunrisers Hyderabad win today, I'm going to put my video up. Okay. That's a bet.
Okay.
If Sunrisers Hyderabad win, then I'll do that because they got no hope of winning. With their captain saying we've made 4 changes, go see the team sheet. What the? In fact, he still hasn't. I'm not seeing any lists yet. I'm not seeing any team lists. Maybe they'll tell us after they go on the field. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hold it. Ready for it?
Yes.
Warner Bairstow opening.
Wow.
Manish Pandey 3. Shankar 4. Virat Singh 5.
Okay, Virat
Abdul
Singh.
Samad 6. Abhishek Sharma 7. Rashid Khan 8. Kumar 9. Mujib ur Rahman.
Mujib is back. They're playing Mujib with Rashid.
Mujib
So they have actually unleashed.
And 11 is Khalil Ahmed.
Wow.
Oh,
Khalil.
Good options. They have a left-arm bowler along, and what they have is a very good. Yeah, Natarajan has been dropped, and for
So no Williamson.
no holder.
No holder either.
No holder.
No holder either. But what they have is the Afghanistan spin battery of Rashid Khan and Mujibur Rahman. If they bowl in tandem, they can tie down the batsman.
But
Very
again,
interesting to see on the sluggish wicket.
But again, they were just slight digression here. Don't you think Rashid and Mujib offer the same thing? I mean, they're not big spinners of the ball. They skid through. They rely more on accuracy. So isn't the variety gone?
See, it's about the team trying to do best with the resources available. What Mujib has done in the IPL, he has surprised the batsman before as well. Remember how he got Virat Kohli bowled once. It was a beautiful
Maybe is it for Rohit? Mujib, because Rohit doesn't start well against spin. And maybe potentially because of that, Mujib opens in the power play. That's why they've gotten him for this, just for that.
Yeah, but good spin. He doesn't play well against good spin. And I must quickly say, I now know why Dave Warner didn't want to announce the side, because he probably couldn't pronounce half of their names.
Yeah, could be
one long
story.
I'll
put money on
being able to pronounce names.
No, does my 11 circle take bets on whether Warner can pronounce the name? I don't think there's such a betting. No, there probably isn't. All right, so that is look. But having said that, okay, so Ridham Saha, Jason Holder, Natarajan, Shahbaz Nadeem are out. Okay, so I can't believe Shahbaz Nadeem's out. I wouldn't have thought that would have been anyway. And Virat Singh, Abhishek Sharma, Mujib, and Khalil get their first games of the season. So, interestingly enough, it was their first game of the season. We heard nothing about cap ceremonies. Did they go behind closed doors giving them the caps? They must have.
Cap is when it's the debut, when you're playing your first IPL game. So all of them have played for SRH before.
I'll take that back. My apologies. But leaving out Jason Holder and Natarajan, I'm a bit gobsmacked. Redmond Saha, I applaud. I'm clapping. They've listened to me. They must have listened to my last 17 reports where I said, Saha out. They finally listened to me. But I think the only key to Sunrisers' success is that Warner and Bessa are opening. I think if they get a massive opening partnership going, that'll be interesting. But of course, they are batting second, not first. So it's going to be very interesting, isn't it, guys? Very, very interesting match. You'd have to think Mumbai Indians will slam this one in. But having seen some of the results of late, Delhi Capitals, did any of you guys expect Delhi Capitals to lose the other day?
Yeah, no. I did.
No.
I did.
Did you?
I did not.
Oh,
I
yeah,
did.
you would. Because you went, well, we know why you went third.
And even last night's game, I mean, we didn't. Did we
I'll
expect
tell
Punjab
you.
to play that
I
way?
tell you why I expected that, because they played Ajinkya Rahane and Tom Curran in the 11. So I expected that.
I said that first. You took my words, Gil. I said about Tom Gunn, not you. I was with.
No, people can agree on the same opinion.
Of course. But we didn't expect Delhi Capitals. In all fairness, the majority of people did not expect that. And we're certainly not expecting it today. We might be very, very surprised. Very surprised. But I doubt it. I really doubt it. I mean, that's 4 changes in the team is knee-jerk reaction. Would you agree?
It is.
I don't really
see it as a knee-jerk reaction. Like, it's very early in the tournament. Teams are still trying to figure out what is their best style of play with the current players that they have. Who's in form? Who's out of form? What kind of players can click for them, can not click for them. So it's just very early to say anything which can determine or define a team's current status.
But it's the third game. It's the third game.
Yeah.
It's the third game. It's not necessarily early.
It's the third game, correct?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily. It's getting borderline not early.
But
Yeah,
what
Norman,
I'm trying to say is I would not press the panic button right away right now.
Yeah.
I would
But
at least
Norman,
wait for 5-6
said,
matches and see. Yeah.
I think this pitch, what they're playing in Chepauk, has confounded everybody. I mean, Rohit, the natural aggression of Rohit and Mumbai Indians is bat first, put the scoreboard pressure. But I think for Sunrisers Hyderabad, this pitch has confounded them big time. They're not sure what to do. And remember, if they lose this game, Sunrisers, it will be the first time in history that they've lost their first 3 games on the trot. It has never happened in the IPL.
Never happened, yeah.
It's never happened. They've lost 2. They've bounced back in 1. That's a different thing. But they will lose 3 games on the trot for the first time. It'll be the first time ever. And they are the only team.
Do you think Mumbai Indians will be thinking about that? Will Mumbai Indians be thinking about that? No, they won't be.
They would just want to finish the opposition off because they just want to win.
Mumbai Indians are a team who know that if they play the way they can, nobody can stand in their way. As simple as that. So they have to. All they have to do is to play their best game.
And remember, the last time that Sunrisers Hyderabad won, they had no Rohit. Bumrah was rested.
Yeah.
They won by 10
wickets the last league match of the previous season, right?
Yeah, Sharjah, 10 wickets.
Correct.
See,
and Warner was in form. If Warner falls, then that's it. Your game is up.
The best was still there, so
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm happy with the changes that have been made. I would have understood 2 changes. One is Saha going out and Abhishek Sharma coming in. The other would have been Nabi coming in. But I'm not sure if there was a need to drop Natarajan for Khalil. I can understand why they have done it. Khalil offers more pace and gives them an option of a bowler who can bowl short at Pollard and Hardik. But his control has been an issue. It was an issue in the previous season and the season before that, which is why you saw him not play the entire season for Hyderabad. Apart from that, I'm not sure if playing Mujib is the right option, because even Nadeem could have bowled at Rohit.
Correct.
So as of now, how things stand for the way I see it, if Hyderabad are able to take wickets in the middle overs from 6 to 14, then well and good. Else Mumbai can also end up with 180 here. They can. They pretty much can. It's a possibility. And I still don't think that Bairstow and Williamson are going to open. It's slotted that way, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Williamson, you mean Bairstow?
Bairstow and what I still don't think that both of them will open. I think Bairstow is still going to bat at 4 because today there's no holder also. So there's even more inexperience than the previous game. I just think it's written that way, but maybe Virat Singh could open or an Abhishek Sharma. One of them will open.
Yeah.
What I would take as what I would also like to say is I don't see Natarajan being dropped here. I see him as rested because he's been playing continuously, and they would definitely need somebody as good as Natarajan towards the ending stages of the 14 league matches that they have, like from matches number 8 onwards. So if you can get rest for some 1 or 2 odd games in between, good enough. I mean, good for the bowler at least.
Boy,
But today, Sunrisers have just destroyed the variety. There's just no variety in the team, in the bowling lineup.
I think, look, I know we're always saying too early. I'm afraid the tournament started. The concept of being too early is now gone. They're into it now. They've got to start. They can't continue to experiment. They've got to get settled teams. I think the best thing they've done is drop Ridham and Saha. That is, to me, the best thing. It sends a message that we're not going to afford someone that's not in form. That's a good sign. It's only the aspect of whether Williamson was fit or not, but otherwise I respect that. The bowling, I'm a bit confused about, but we'll wait and see how that pans out.
Also,
obviously,
the fifth bowling option today is Abhishek Sharma and Vijay Shankar. I'm not sure if that is 4 overs to be bowled by them against the Mumbai middle order is a great idea. I'm very if it's only 40 of those 4 overs, I'd say Sunrisers Hyderabad should take it eyes closed because it could be worse. With that against that middle order, it could easily be 4 overs for 60 runs. Very concerned for SRH. They need Rashid and Mujib to take 3 to 4 wickets in those 8 overs.
Yeah,
be worried, Sunrisers. Be very worried.
I think they were worried for the moment Warner opened his mouth at the toss. I'm pretty sure he couldn't pronounce the name. That's what he said. Oh, there's 4 guys. Read the team sheet. Bugger if I know their names, he'll say. All right. Probably don't need to ask this question, but we're going to finish now. We're going to go to our sponsor in a minute, My 11 Circle. In fact, we'll do My 11 Circle now. Let's go to My 11 Circle, Debashis, and let's hear what My 11 Circle.
Hi, guys. Are you all excited for the Indian T20 League 2021? Well, I am, and I have come across the great fantasy sports app called My 11 Circle, where you can use your cricket knowledge and skills to win in crores. The really unique feature about it is that what you can actually literally play with champions like Dada, Rahane, VVS Laxman on this app. Also, please hold your breath, because not only My 11 Circle have all these legendary cricketers on their app, they recently got the kings of energy and awesomeness on board. Ranveer Singh. Yeah, you heard it, that right. Ranveer Singh is on My 11 Circle. Download the app now.
Okay. It's time. It's crystal ball time, guys. It's crystal ball time. My crystal ball says me, but me, as in Mumbai Indians. I'm afraid there's nothing else in here but Mumbai Indians. There's a bit of laughter about David Warner's media capabilities after saying, go read the team sheet. He'll be having a good chat to his management about that. Okay. It's saying, for me, it's Mumbai Indians in a canter. Siddharth.
Yep, Mumbai Indians, hands down. They have a settled lineup. They have clarity in both the batting and the bowling. Sunrisers Hyderabad, too much chopping and changing, and they have also destroyed the variety by including 2 leg spinners of the same style. So it's hands down Mumbai Indians.
And they better have Williamson in the next game, I'll tell you. Devashit, what do you think?
Mumbai Indians all the way, because they are coming off win. Definitely, Sunrisers Hyderabad will be a team under more pressure because they've lost 2 matches on the trot. They've never lost 3 matches at the start of any IPL. So they will be a team under a lot of pressure, which we have seen with the kind of changes they have made in the team. 4 changes. That obviously you can see a knee-jerk reaction. But at the end of the day, if they play well, who knows? Anything can happen.
Exactly. So that's 3 Mumbai Indians. I'm not sure where Gill's heading. He was a bit on the SRH side, wasn't she? What's your thoughts?
No, it's 9 times out of 10 the playing 11s that are playing would favor Mumbai Indians to win. Not sure if today is that one time where SRH come on top, because like we have spoken, there are too many holes that are evident right now in that lineup. Unless something drastic or dramatic happens, it's hard to see SRH come out on top. Probably Warner being angry or Bairstow playing a blinder could make that difference, but it's still difficult. So have to go with Mumbai.
It's a bit like going to Holland and going to one of their dikes and trying to plug the holes. There's going to be water leaking everywhere, I'm afraid. I think I interviewed someone today at the rugby league about who they think will win, and they said Sunrisers, because it rises over water. Well, in this case, the water's going through the sun. Slightly different scenario. I think they've made some huge mistakes, I think, and heaven help them. Okay, I think we've put the mocker, haven't we? We're going to come back after the show and Sunrisers Hyderabad are going to win by 6 wickets. I don't think so. All right, guys, time is coming to the end for this program. We've got some 8 or 9 minutes before the game starts. We'll let people go and get a cup of tea and get a biscuits and get ready for the match and relaxation. Gil, I'm sure you've got things to do. You're probably going to have your eyebrows plucked or something. I'm not sure what you're going to do. But we're all going to enjoy the time before the game. It was great having you on, Devashir. It's wonderful to have you there. Siddharth, I'm not sure whether it was wonderful today because you had 75 backdrops. I'm confused where you were half the time. And I think your wife's been walking back and forth with room to room there. So
you wanted excitement, you got it.
Exactly. And Gil, thank you again. I'm waiting for that poster of it. Don't use COVID-19 as an excuse. As soon as you get it, I want it up on the wall. All right, guys. Thanks for your time.
I'll use COVID-21 as an excuse.
COVID-21 now. Okay.
I hope
there are too many COVID-21 right now.
I hope that is an acceptable excuse.
Okay. All right, guys. This is Norman Kochnick here from, you guessed it, Extra Time. In my male model days, I would be showing my top, as you can see. And I'm going to the gym now to buy some chocolate cake from next door. So it's good to have a chocolate cake shop next to the actual gym. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Wonderful time again. This is Norman Kochnick from Extra Time saying goodbye. Let's enjoy the game between Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad. Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Bye-bye.